The following is an EHC media production.
April 6th, we present Promo Mania 4. Promo Championship will be on the line in an epic rematch as the Blackbane battles the Butcher.
I would hope that we can keep this professional, as I am always. You know, David Gillum, will be professional.
Promo Mania. And me and Blackbane Costello. It's official, bro. You, me. Round 2. Promo Championship.
Promo Mania 4. Dave Gillum versus Amir Costello. The Butcher versus Blackbane.
Next up, you got me.
Mask versus Mask.
People will know that the champ, he's here.
You know, Dave, you are your favorite football team. You are the New England Patriots. You're in the championship fight. You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Freight train. Going straight through.
I'm the guy that 2 years ago nobody knew. I'm the guy that wasn't supposed to beat anybody. And I'm the last person anybody suspected would be here in this championship fight. I know who you are. I know what you bring to the table.
Bring your A game. Bring your A game. You asked for it. Now you're gonna get it.
But considering that you are the best heel in the business, the operative word there is business. Ain't none of it personal, brother.
What's going on, RWT family and Smart Mark Radio listeners? This is your boy, Moses Marquez.
And I'm your boy, Amir Blackbane Costello.
And we are here to remind you guys to catch us each and every week on the Gorilla Position.
Yeah, man, it's our little show we got going on where we talk about all things wrestling. And Moses Marquez, what's your favorite thing to talk about?
My favorite thing to talk about is all the bullshit going on in the WWE, but then I like to sugar on a little bit of the awesomeness of the New Japan Pro Wrestling. What about yourself?
Yeah, man, I like talking about those things too. Not to mention AEW's coming out. Ring of Honor's awesome. And I don't know if anybody likes Impact, but fuck it. If they're making news, we're talking about them too.
We're talking about all this and more, guys. So again, catch us each and every week on soundcloud.com/smartmarkradio, and of course on the RWT YouTube page. Every week, a new episode of the Gorilla Position will be up. So we'll catch you around the bend, boys and girls. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 24 of The Future Is Now. My name is Mike Larkin. It's been a while, RWT family, but I am back. So excited to talk about this coming week's edition of 205 and NXT. We just saw NXT that just passed. Amazing show, top to bottom from both. Very solid in-ring action, and it's going to be a hell of a time talking about this. I am so happy to be back with The Future Is Now. So, enough of my talking. Let's get right into it.
Cause I can turn it around.
Alrighty, let's get into 205 Live. Again, a solid start and a solid week for 205 Live. We now know that there will be an 8-man tournament to determine who faces Buddy Murphy at WrestleMania. The competitors will be, mentioned later in the night. So we started off with an amazing matchup between Humberto Carrillo and TJP. We've seen Humberto Carrillo on NXT. We've seen him on 205 Live. He's a tremendous competitor, and TJP, the ring veteran that he is. This was a nice back and forth, a nice Lucha Libre style. A very nice, back and forth. TJP working on his leg with the rest holds, the chin locks. Humberto coming back with his luchador maneuvers, such as, the drop kicks, the flying handspring, moonsault, so many great maneuvers, reminiscent of Eddie Guerrero with the arm drags. The finishing sequence came because Drew Gulak and Jack Gallagher were out there telling him, no, it's a no-fly zone. They're trying to recruit Humberto Carrillo. The finishing sequence comes where Carrillo avoids TJP and he connects with a punch. Then he hits a springboard dropkick to the back of his head on the apron. Then he hits the headstand Arabian press, the springboard moonsault for the 1-2-3, and Humberto Carrillo is your winner. After the match, Drew and Jack applaud Humberto's victory and put him on their shoulders. He points to the WrestleMania sign for Humberto and then to the 205 Live graphic on the Titantron, then points to the crowd, celebrating with Humberto. We get comments from Tony Nese. He says he has finally proved to Noam Dar that he is the better man. It occurred to him that 205 Live is his for the taking. He can be better than anyone, and it's up to him to believe that he can do it. Tony promises that he will become the Cruiserweight Champion at WrestleMania. Mike and Elsa Maria in the back, and Mike is asked about facing Cedric Alexander after all of his losses. Maria says she will take it, and she mentions that her husband has been in the business for 16 years all over the world. He has not been successful by taking the easy way out in the easy matches. Is that the way to get to WrestleMania? Maria says since they're on the same page, Mike will take out the pride of 205 Live, the solo 205 Live, and show why he's the most dangerous man here. Then we come back, we find out, obviously, that we all know that we found out on Monday that DX is going to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Triple H, Shawn Michaels, the New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, and, God rest her soul, Chyna. And then, after that, we see Arya Daivari coming to the ring for his matchup, and he says, you're here to witness the beginning of the Daivari-De Niro destruction of the Cruiserweight division. He will beat his opponent so bad that you cannot sue the referee for the wrong call. Pretty much, talking to the New Orleans crowd, New Orleans Saints. Daivari says, unlike the Saints, he's going to his company's Super Bowl, which brings us to the enhancement talent match of the night as Arya Daivari takes on Johnny Lyons. Very quick. It's just, side headlock, Daivari with punches in the corner. Lyons comes out, hits a drop kick. Then here comes Lyons missing a splash, and then Daivari kicks him to the ribs again, hits the hammerlock clothesline, and then the Cobra Clutch, the modified, it's also like a modified version of the $1 Million Dream, and Lyons taps out. So Arya Daivari is your winner. Buddy Murphy says it must be hard for Drake Maverick to run a brand with a champion as strong and tough as him. First he got Mustafa Ali, but at the end of the match, Ali was heartbroken. Then there was Cedric Alexander who wanted redemption. That night, the Age of Alexander came crashing down. At the Royal Rumble, he beat 3 of the best. He asked for the challenge, and he beat that challenge. Last Sunday, Akira Tozawa had one more shot to stop the Unstoppable. That night ended like every other night with his hand raised high. Drake had the idea for an 8-man tournament, 8 of the best to face the very best. Buddy says he's the greatest cruiserweight of all time. Who wants to face him on the grandest stage of them all? And then we come back to the main event, which is Mike Kanellis and Cedric Alexander. I gotta tell you something, guys. This was an amazing matchup. Nice back and forth between the two. Mike working over Cedric. Cedric doing his, typical, springboard clotheslines, the neuralizer kicks, going for that, for the lumbar check, but it doesn't happen. There's a spine buster on the outside, on the, the ring, not the apron, I'm sorry, the ramp. And then, Cedric Alexander comes in at the count of 10, before the count of 10, excuse me. Then the finishing sequence comes where Mike Kanellis hits a crossroads, but he gets a shoulder up at the last minute, does Cedric. So referee counts 3, but he realizes he made a mistake. Then we come towards the finish where Alexander with a roll-up, but Mike Kanellis blocks it. And then he hits the lumbar check for the 1-2-3. And after all of that, Cedric Alexander is your winner. It was a very competitive matchup. Go out of your way to watch both the Humberto Carrillo TJP match for high-flying, high-octane aerial assault, and go out of your way to watch Cedric and Mike Kanellis. You can skip Arya Daivari and Johnny Lyons in that matchup. It was just a squash. It was what it meant to be. And then we find out that Drake Maverick says that the first 2 matches in the tournament are Kalisto versus Tony Nese and Brian Kendrick versus Drew Gulak for next week to start the tournament. And that was your 205 Live. Like I said, just go out of your way to watch the main match. The first match between Humberto and TJP. You can skip Ari Daivari and Johnny Lyons. Well, it's quick, but you could still go through it if you want, and check out Cedric and Mike Kanellis. Watch the whole show, but really watch those two matchups. And that takes us to what we saw tonight, what we knew was going to happen with the Velveteen Dream winning the North American Championship. But to talk about the show all in all, here we go. Here's our NXT review. Alrighty, let's get into this week's NXT. What can I say about this week's NXT? We all opened up with a hot opener with Aleister Black and Roderick Strong. Just Roderick Strong working on the back, the Messiah the backbreaker, doing the backbreaker on the steps. Aleister Black coming back with kicks, the springboard moonsault, and just the running, kicks, the Shining Wizards. These two, you put these two in the ring together, it's absolute magic. The finishing sequence came where Roderick Strong was going for the stronghold, but Black with kicks to the head. Strong catapults Black's thrown to the bottom rope, then he hits the running knee and a reverse Olympic slam for a near fall. Strong with strikes, but Black gets to his feet and he hits the Black Mass for the 1-2-3. Aleister Black is your winner. Kyle O'Reilly comes out. Black hits him with a Black Mass. Adam Cole and Bobby Fish attack Black, but Ricochet with a springboard crossbody. Then he stops Kyle and Cole. Black with a knee to Fish, and that the baby faces are standing tall. Aleister Black and Ricochet over the Undisputed Era. Then we see from last week where Serena Deeb and Sarah Amato, a.k.a. Sarah Del Rey, talk about the new signees such as Rachel Ellering and more. Then we hear Shayna Baszler arguing with Jesse Esteban, Lacey Lane, and Mia Yim in the locker room. And Serena and Sarah separate them. And we come back and we have a vignette from Bianca Belair saying that 2018 was her year. She had the match won at TakeOver, but the referee was not in position. Now you have Io Shirai and Kairi Sane trying to take her spot. If you think she's going to be, gracefully step aside and give someone a title match before her, you have to wait for her to become champion before you get the chance. I believe she said, "Girl, please," which I loved. Then you will see why she is undefeated. Then we saw this past week's Raw and SmackDown where Gargano, Ciampa, Aleister Black, and Ricochet all wrestled and appeared. Then we're told that the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is coming in 2 weeks and the winners will face War Raiders at TakeOver for the NXT Tag Titles. So far announced are Undisputed Era, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, the Forgotten Sons, and Street Profits. And we'll find out the other 4 teams next week. Then our next matchup is Mia Yim versus Xia Li. Really good stuff here. Arm drags, kicks, and they just went toe-to-toe. A great exchange of roll-ups, great pinning predicaments. Xia hits the kick to the midsection. Mia with the Irish whip, but Xia goes to the turnbuckles and leaps over Mia. Mia hits a drop kick, hits the cannonball for a near fall. Mia with strikes of Xia, but Xia with strikes of her own, followed by a kick for a near fall. Xia goes to the turnbuckles and misses a side kick, and Mia with the back fist. Then she hits the Eat Defeat, which she's now calling the Protect Your Neck, for the 1-2-3, and Mia Yim is your victor. After the match, Shayna Baszler attacks Mia, and she's joined by Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. MJ Jenkins and Lacey Lane come out, and they fight off Shafir, Duke, and Baszler, but they cannot maintain things. Shayna tells Mia to show her some respect. Shayna with the knee to the chest. And then we see Johnny Gargano in the back, getting ready for his match against Velveteen Dream. Candice LeRae checks on Johnny, and she tells him he knows what to do. Tommaso Ciampa shows up, and Candice wants to know why he's here. Tommaso says he's here if Johnny needs him. Johnny says he won this on his own, and he does not need Ciampa. Johnny leaves, and Tommaso says he will be watching, which we find him watching in the rafters later on when we get to the main event here. Then we come back and we see Jeremy Borash interviewing Matt Riddle. Jeremy Borash asked Matt about the non-traditional way to arrive at the WWE. Did he think about being more traditional? Matt says someone told him you want someone to tell you to tone it down than tone it up. He would rather be himself, and it might be too much at times, and someone might tell him to slow down. Matt says he's glad that he is done with Ono. Now he can focus on what is important. He tapped out Drew Gulak 2 weeks ago, and that is just the beginning. His goal is to win any championship he can get his hands on. Nothing is going to stop him, bro. The next week we find out besides in 2 weeks that we have the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Next week we will see Mia Yim facing Shayna Baszler one-on-one. That brings us to our main event, which is the Velveteen Dream and Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. From top to bottom, this was just, these guys just went at it. I mean, on the outside, whether it be Johnny suplexing him on the ramp, the axe handle to the outside, and the counter into a super kick, the super kicks, the DDTs, just these two going back and forth, the super Dream Valley Driver off the top. Just, my God, go out of your way to watch this match. There's so much to cover, but the finishing sequence comes. Gargano sets for a super kick, and Dream, you see him telling him to bring it, like, come on, is that all you got, Johnny? Then Dream gets Gargano up, Gargano escapes, it's a super kick, Dream with a rolling Death Valley Driver, the rolling Dream Valley Driver, and then he goes for a second one, then he hits the Purple Rain elbow drop for the 1, 2, 3, and as we knew, because it was spoiled, Velveteen Dream is your new NXT North American Champion, and Velveteen Dream's first championship won in NXT. Absolutely amazing. Go out of your way to watch all 3 matches. Same with 205 Live, even though one is a squash with Ari Daivari and Johnny Lyons. Go out of your way to watch Cedric and Mike Kanellis. Go out of your way to watch, Humberto Carrillo and TJP. Great stuff on 205 Live and NXT. Watch it all. Watch Mia Yim and Xia Li. Watch Aleister Black and Roderick Strong. And most certainly, watch Velveteen Dream versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. I will be back next week to talk NXT featuring Mia Yim versus Shayna Baszler. I will also be back to talk 205 featuring the first round matchups in the tournament with Brian Kendrick versus Drew Gulak and Kalisto versus Tony Nese. It's going to be an exciting week. We have another pay-per-view coming in a few weeks with Fastlane, which we now know that we will be seeing Usos versus Miz and Shane for the tag titles again, and Daniel Bryan defending the WWE Championship against Kofi Kingston. I cannot wait for these matches, especially with the performance that Kofi gave at the Chamber. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you soon, and just know that the future is now. Take care, everyone. I'll be back next week.